So my name is Ayman. I work with Singularity Investment.
My name is Damila Thompson and I work with EcoVC Partners.
My name is Emmanuel Adigboye and I work with Andela.
Okay, so I think where we'll start from is why we're doing what we're doing. So Ventures Dialogue started 2 years, 3 years,
2016, yeah.
2016, and essentially what we have been trying to do, or what we're trying to do, is address the gap between, bridge the gap between entrepreneurs and investors. We have seen that number one, entrepreneurs are not, they're not as knowledgeable as they're supposed to be about their companies, about the investment environment in Nigeria and even outside Nigeria. They don't have as much information as they're supposed to have in building their companies. They don't have as much partnerships as they should. They don't have the rights. They don't have the right stepping stones to climb on, even as they rise through building their businesses. So that was the gap that we saw, and we decided that we would devote and dedicate as much time as we wanted to addressing these problems. So for this particular event, I think what we try to do is number one, address, because Nigeria is a very peculiar market. Nigeria is, some people say Nigeria is very similar to India, and probably in terms of maybe population, not so much, but a bit. But even the behavior of the people. But I think Nigeria itself is very peculiar in the sense that there are certain ways that you do businesses that are very unique. So the customer behavior is very different, and you probably will never find it in Nigeria. The other problem that we tried to address was in venture capital transactions, where we would technically see deals take 6 months, 1 year to close a deal. Sometimes even to get to the term sheet stage, you could spend like 6 months, 9 months. And I think it was really out of that frustration that we decided that this was something that we had to tackle. And that was why we had Mohamed Garba from Cardinal Stone Partners and also Egosa Moigui from EcoVC Partners address these problems. I'll let Emmanuel.
Emmanuel.
Yeah, so I guess model essentially focuses around one knowledge, right? So through this event, we try to educate founders as much as possible, right? And for every of our events, there's always a masterclass component which dives deep into a core issue, right? And then there's typically also either a panel or a fireside chat where people then get to interact with an investor, because what we want to do is to bridge the gap between entrepreneurs and investors. So our events are always a mix of investors and entrepreneurs, and there's always the masterclass component and the panel or fireside chat. Other than the events, we also are currently piloting a mentoring program, right, where we're connecting entrepreneurs with more experienced entrepreneurs and investors to answer specific questions that enable them scale their businesses, right? We're also launching a couple of platforms later in the year to enable us scale a lot of the initiatives that we're currently running.
I was going to say that, but you said it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's really Ventures Dialogue in a nutshell. We probably would run an event every quarterly, yeah.
So I think the other thing is sometimes, in most cases, when we have these events, we have people who literally know next to nothing about the subject matter that we're talking about. So for them, it's a new thing. So I think we had the success story recently where the second event that we had was a women founders and funders event. And we had women investors and women entrepreneurs on the panel just discussing challenges of being a woman and running a business, and then why women investors, why would a woman investor fund a woman entrepreneur? And so we had a masterclass on that, and then we also had a masterclass on pitching to a VC. So one of the ladies who pitched on the day, who had this trial pitch on the day of the event, went for a pitching event in Milan and won $100,000. So I think for us, those are the kind of stories, those are the kind of news I would like to hear that motivate us to want to do more. She's the first time. That day was the first time that she had pitched. And I think for us, it was good to see that there was
that. First of all, I would say that I'm excited about the traction that we've had so far. every one of these events is a testament that we're making progress day by day. I'm really excited about the turnout and things like that. But for future plans, I mean, it's to keep doing what we are doing, first of all, keep growing, right? Keep building a community around this, right? And that also means a lot more initiatives between events, right? So these events will come every once in a while, but between events, it means growing, finding ways to grow that community, right? Providing value to the community as well in between events, through newsletters, through opportunities, through connections. I mean, we've had people reach out to us, for instance, that we've made connections to offline, which are really big deals, right? So not just the events, but helping make those physical connections happen.
Yeah.
We want to do a whole lot more of that. We want to scale our mentoring platform as well, right? Because we think that that's really very key. Like, it's just a lot of people just need that, someone to just help them at critical stages in their business, and want to provide real value to entrepreneurs as much as possible. But yeah, the goal over time is to grow this community large enough and then build a track record of helping as many entrepreneurs as possible, because we think that the need is bigger than most people realize, right? And I think that we all agree that that's the fastest way we can basically help grow the ecosystem as well, by contributing our own quota.
And making our impact.
Right.
I think another call that we would like to make is to have more people on board. We don't want to feel like we're the only ones trying to piece the fragmented parts of the Nigerian startup ecosystem. So we would like to have corporates on board who are willing to help entrepreneurs, who are willing to help them build their companies, who are willing to mentor and advise them.
Entrepreneurs are doing their thing. They're not really sure what investors want. Right, investors are out there saying that
they're not good
There
entrepreneurs.
are not enough startups to invest in, and all of that. So what we're essentially trying to do is to bridge that gap, right, and be that binding force, in a sense, for all of the key players in the ecosystem. So we're trying to build a community, not just of entrepreneurs, but of investors, of service providers, of other people who...
Government officials, government institutions, regulatory bodies.
Other large corporates and all of that.
Yeah.
Because it's in that whole system working together and everyone contributing their part. That's how we think that we can literally grow the ecosystem a lot faster. So that's essentially what we're trying to do.